Welcome to Fortune Forecast. You are in my book playlist where we have started on the book titled Secret of the Ages by Robert Collier. It was published in 1926. It is in the public domain. I am Daisy, your hostess. If you are here for the first time, welcome to the channel. And to our Fortune community, welcome back. This book really has a lot of juicy words that kind of want to put your ear to the door so you can get in on the secret of the ages. And in this new chapter that we're going to dive into, which is chapter 9, the formula of success, I can even begin to imagine the wonders that we will be able to extract, as it is titled, The Formula of Success. And I understand when we use the word success, it is very personal. What I believe is a success, maybe to another could just be ordinary, but it does not take away a success it is. And then we put the word formula. Now we're talking about something very specific. I know when we talk about like a formula for a baby or a formula for a recipe or some other formula that might be needed for a medicine, it is very precise and specific. So that's what I think we're going to be discovering. What is the specific secret formula that we can tap into that has been known for the ages that will take us on to success, to the success we want, right? Oh my, so much of a play on word here. Let's now head into this chapter titled The Formula of Success. Starts off with a quote by Ella Wheeler Wilcox. One ship drives east and another drives west. With the self same winds that blow. 'Tis the set of the sails and not the gales which tells us the way they go. Like the waves of the sea are the ways of fate as we voyage along through life. 'Tis the set of the soul which decides its goal and not the calm or the strife. What is the eternal question which stands up and looks you and every sincere man squarely in the eye every morning? How can I better my condition? That is the real life question which confronts you and will haunt you every day till you solve it. Read this chapter carefully, and I think you will find the answer to this important life question, which you and every man must solve if he expects ever to have more each Monday morning after payday than he had the week before. To begin with, all wealth depends upon a clear understanding of the fact that mind, thought, is the only creator. The great business of life is thinking. Control your thoughts, and you control circumstance. Just as the first law of gain is desire, so the formula of success is belief. Believe that you have it, see it as an existent fact, and anything you can rightly wish for is yours. Belief is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. You have seen men, inwardly no more capable than yourself, accomplish the seemingly impossible. You have seen others, after years of hopeless struggle, suddenly win their most cherished dreams. And you've often wondered, what is the power that gives new life to their dying ambitions? That supplies new impetus to their jaded desires, that gives them a new start on the road to success. That power is belief, faith. Someone, something, gave them a new belief in themselves and a new faith in their power to win. And they leaped ahead and wrested success from seemingly certain defeat. Do you remember the picture Harold Lloyd was in 2 or 3 years ago, showing a country boy who was afraid of his shadow? Every boy in the countryside bedeviled him until one day his grandmother gave him a talisman that she assured him his grandfather had carried through the Civil War and which, so she said, had the property of making its owner invincible. Nothing could hurt him, she told him, while he wore this talisman. Nothing could stand up against him. He believed her. And the next time the bully of the town started to cuff him around, he wiped up the earth with him, and that was only the start. Before the year was out, he had made a reputation as the most daring soul in the community. Then, when his grandmother felt that he was thoroughly cured, she told him the truth, that the talisman was merely a piece of old junk she'd picked up by the roadside, that she knew all he needed was faith in himself, belief that he could do these things. The Talisman of Napoleon. Stories like that are common. It is such a well-established truth that you can do only what you think you can, that the theme is a favorite one with authors. I remember reading a story years ago of an artist, a mediocre sort of artist, who was visiting the field of Waterloo and happened upon a curious lump of metal half buried in the dirt, which so attracted him that he picked it up and put it in his pocket. Soon thereafter, he noticed a sudden increase in confidence, an absolute faith in himself, not only as to his own chosen line of work, but in his ability to handle any situation that might present itself. He painted a great picture, just to show that he could do it. Not content with that, he visioned an empire with Mexico as its basis, actually led a revolt that carried all before it, until one day he lost his talisman, and immediately his bubble burst. I instance this just to illustrate the point that it is your own belief in yourself that counts. It is the consciousness of dominated power within you that makes all things attainable. You can do anything you think you can. This knowledge is literally the gift of the gods, for through it you can solve every human problem. It should make of you an incurable optimist. It is the open door to welfare. Keep it open by expecting to gain everything that is right. You are entitled to every good thing. Therefore, expect nothing but good. Defeat does not need to follow victory. You don't have to knock wood every time you congratulate yourself that things have been going well with you. Victory should follow victory, and it will if you let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ Jesus. It is the mind that means health and life and boundless opportunity and recompense. No limitation rests upon you, so don't let any enter your life. Remember that mind will do every good thing for you. It will remove mountains for you. Bring ye all the tithes into the storehouse, and prove me now herewith, said the Lord of hosts, if I will not open you the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing, that there shall not be room enough to receive it. Bring all your thoughts, your desires, your aims, your talents into the storehouse, the consciousness of good, the law of infinite supply, and prove these blessings. There is every reason to know that you are entitled to adequate provision. Everything that is involved in supply is a thing of thought. Now reach out, stretch your mind, try to comprehend unlimited thought, unlimited supply. Do not think that supply must come through one or two channels. It is not for you to dictate the universal the means through which it shall send its gifts to you. There are millions of channels through which it can reach you. Your part is to impress upon mind your need, your earnest desire, your boundless belief in the resources and the willingness of universal mind to help you. Plant the seed of desire, Nourish it with a clear visualization of the ripened fruit. Water it with sincere faith, but leave the means to universal mind. Open up your mind. Clear out the channels of thought. Keep yourself in a state of receptivity. Gain a mental attitude in which you are constantly expecting good. You have the fundamental right to all good, according to your faith. Be it unto you. The trouble with most of us is that we are mentally lazy. It is so much easier to go along with the crowd than to break trail for ourselves. But the great discoverers, the great inventors, the great geniuses in all lines have been men who dared to break with tradition, who defied precedent, who believed that there is no limit to what mind can do, and who stuck to that belief until their goal was won in spite of all the sneers and ridicule of the wiseacres and the it can't be doners. Not only, but they were never satisfied with achieving just one success. They knew that the first success is like the first olive out of the bottle. All the others come out the more easily for it. They realized that they were a part of the creative intelligence of the universe, and that the part shares all the properties of the whole. And that realization gave them the faith to strive for any right thing. The knowledge that the only limit upon their capabilities was the limit of their desires. Knowing that, they couldn't be satisfied with any ordinary success. They had to keep on and on and on. Edison didn't sit down and fold his hands when he gave us the talking machine or the electric light. These great achievements merely opened the way to new fields of accomplishment. Open up the channels between your mind and universal mind, and there is no limit to the riches that will come pouring in. Concentrate your thoughts on the particular thing you are most interested in, and ideas in abundance will come flooding down. Open up a dozen ways of winning the goal you are striving for. But don't let one success, no matter how great, satisfy you. The law of creation, is the law of growth. You can't stand still. You must go forward or be passed by. Complacency, self-satisfaction, is the greatest enemy of achievement. You must keep looking forward like Alexander. You must be constantly seeking new worlds to conquer. Depend upon it, the power will come to meet the need. There is no such thing as failing powers if we look to mind for our source of supply. The only failure of mind comes from worry and fear, or from disuse. William James, the famous psychologist, taught that the more mind does, the more it can do. For ideas release energy. You can do more and better work than you have ever done. You can know more than you know now. You know from your own experience that under proper mental conditions of joy or enthusiasm, you can do 3 or 4 times the work without fatigue that you can ordinarily. Tiredness is more boredom than actual physical fatigue. You can work almost indefinitely when the work is a pleasure. You've seen sickly persons, frail persons, who couldn't do an hour's light work without exhaustion suddenly buckle down when heavy responsibilities were thrown upon them and grow strong and rugged under the load. Crises not only draw upon the reserve power you have, but they help to create new power. It couldn't be done. It may be that you have been deluded by the thought of incompetence. It may be that you have been told so often that you cannot do certain things that you've come to believe you can't. Remember that success or failure is merely a state of mind. Believe you cannot do a thing, and you can't. Know that you can do it, and you will. You must see yourself doing it. If you think you are beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you'd like to win, but you think you can't, it's almost a cinch you won't. If you think you'll lose, you've lost. For out in the world you'll find success begins with a fellow's will. It's all in the state of mind. Full many a race is lost ere even a race is run, and many a coward fails ere even his work's begun. Think big and your deeds will grow. Think small and you fall behind. Think that you can and you will. It's all in the state of mind. If you think you are outclassed, you are. You've got to think high to rise. You've got to be sure of yourself before you can ever win a prize. Life's battle doesn't always go to the stronger or faster man, but sooner or later, the man who wins is the fellow who thinks he can. There's a vast difference between a proper understanding of one's own ability and a determination to make the best of it, and offensive egotism. It is absolutely necessary for every man to believe in himself before he can make the most of himself. All of us have something to sell. It may be our goods, it may be our abilities, it may be our services. You've got to believe in yourself to make your buyer take stock in you at par and accrued interest. You've got to feel the same personal solicitude over a customer lost as a revivalist over a backslider and hold special services to bring him back into the fold. You've got to get up every morning with determination if you're going to go to bed that night with satisfaction. There's mighty sound sense in the saying that all the world loves a booster. The one and only thing you have to win success is mind. For your mind to function at its highest capacity, you've got to be charged with good cheer and optimism. No one ever did a good piece of work while in a negative frame of mind. Your best work is always done when you are feeling happy and optimistic. And a happy disposition is the result, not the cause, of happy, cheery thinking. Health and prosperity are the results primarily of optimistic thoughts. You make the pattern. If the impress you have left on the world about you seems faint and weak, don't blame fate. Blame your pattern. You will never cultivate a brave, courageous demeanor by thinking cowardly thoughts. You cannot gather figs from thistles. You will never make your dreams come true by choking them with doubts and fears. You've got to put foundations under your air castles, foundations of understanding and belief. Your chances of success in any undertaking can always be measured by your belief in yourself. Are your surroundings discouraging? Do you feel that if you were in another's place, success would be easier? Just bear in mind that your real environment is within you. All the factors of success or failure are in your inner world. You make that own inner world, and through it, your outer world. You can choose the material from which to build it. If you've not chosen wisely in the past, you can choose again now the material you want to rebuild it. The richness of life is within you. No one has failed so long as he can begin again. Start right in and do all those things you feel you have it in you to do. Ask permission of no man. Concentrating your thought upon any proper undertaking will make its achievement possible. Your belief that you can do the thing gives your thought forces their power. Fortune waits upon you. Seize her boldly, hold her, and she is yours. She belongs rightfully to you. But if you cringe to her, if you go up to her doubtfully, timidly, she will pass you by in scorn. For she is a fickle jade who must be mastered, who loves boldness, who admires confidence. A Roman boasted that it was sufficient for him to strike the ground with his foot, and legions would spring up. And his very boldness cowed his opponents. It is the same with your mind. Take the first step, and your mind will mobilize all its forces to your aid. But the first essential is that you begin. Once the battle is started, all that is within and without you will come to your assistance if you attack in earnest and meet each obstacle with resolution. But you have got to start things. The Lord helps them that help themselves is a truth as old as man. It is in fact plain common sense. Your subconscious mind has all power, but your subconscious mind is the watchman at the gate. It has got to open the door. It has got to press the spring that releases the infinite energy. No failure is possible in the accomplishment of any right object you may have in life, if you but understand your power and will perseveringly try to use it in the proper way. The men who have made their mark in this world all had one trait in common. They believed in themselves. But you may say, how can I believe in myself when I have never yet done anything worthwhile, when everything I put my hand to seems to fail? You can't, of course. That is, you couldn't if you had to depend upon your conscious mind alone. But just remember what one far greater than you said. I can of mine own self do nothing. The Father that is within me, he doeth the works. That same Father is within you, and it is by knowing that he is in you and that through him you can do anything that is right, that you can acquire that belief in yourself, which is so necessary. Certainly the mind that imaged the heavens and the earth and all that they contain has all wisdom, all power, all abundance. With this mind to call upon, you know there is no problem too difficult for you to undertake. The knowing of this is the first step, faith. But St. James tells us faith without works is dead. So go on to the next step. Decide on the one thing you want most from life. No matter what it may be, there is no limit, to mind. Visualize this thing that you want. See it, feel it, believe in it. Make your mental blueprint and begin to build. Suppose some people do laugh at your idea. Suppose reason does say it can't be done. People laughed at Galileo. They laughed at Henry Ford. Reason contended for countless ages that the earth was flat. Reason said, or so numerous automotive engineers argued, that the Ford motor wouldn't run. But the earth is round, and the 12th or 15th million Ford is on the road. Let us start right now putting into practice some of these truths that you have learned. What do you want most of life right now? Take that one desire, concentrate on it, impress it upon your subconscious mind. Psychologists have discovered that the best time to make suggestions to your subconscious mind is just before going to sleep, when the senses are quiet and the attention is lax. So let us take your desire and suggest it to your subconscious mind tonight. The two prerequisites are the earnest desire and an intelligent, understanding belief. Someone has said, that education is 3/4 encouragement, and that encouragement is the suggestion that the thing can be done. You know that you can have what you want if you want it badly enough and can believe in it earnestly enough. So tonight, just before you drop off to sleep, concentrate your thought on this thing that you most desire from life. Believe that you have it. See yourself possessing it. Feel yourself using it. Do that every night until you actually do believe that you have the thing you want. When you reach that point, you will have it. End of chapter 9. If you haven't done so, hit that like button. I have found and learned that the more likes I get on my videos, the more you keep me out here. So thank you so much, and head over to the next video where I will be there with chapter 10, This Freedom.